almost landing on my feet.
How many miles did you say you had on this?
54,000.
Okay. So this is probably the first time the head has ever been off of this motor.
Oh no, it is. 'Cause that's the original sealant on the valve covers.
So 1984 Detroit, GM Detroit diesel.
Yeah.
6.2 liter, 54,000 original miles. Clay thinks it's the first time the head's ever been off.
Creek cups aren't even cracked yet, which is typical. They usually have.
And now, of course, I'm asking, why would you be tearing a good engine apart that only has 54,000 miles on it? That's getting 20 miles to the gallon, rolling 35-inch tires with a 6-inch lift
That's only 4
on that big ton and a quarter Chevrolet pickup.
And those are only 33-inch tires.
Oh, those are only 30? Oh, okay, I thought they were 35s.
Oh, that's because I'm going to head stud it and put a turbo on it and hopefully get better fuel economy and more power.
Oh, you're going to head stud it and put a turbo on it. Okay. So are you doing a full rebuild on this motor?
No, because it's pretty much a brand new motor.
Okay, so you're not doing a full rebuild.
No.
You're just going to clean things up, do your head studs,
My head studs.
not even going to get into the lower end.
Well, I'm not going to get into the rotating assembly, but I have to take the oil pan off. Get my oil return for my turbo, and I got to do the rear main, which I might have to take need to be taking the oil pan off for that anyways.
That looks like a little dry spot with a little rust. I got to say, I'm not seeing sludge.
Nope.
It's hard to believe that the military serviced this engine good enough that it's that clean inside.
Now I got some gunk on this piston. For whatever reason.
All right, Clay, so go ahead and tell us. What's the real reason why you pulled the motor out?
Dang, these pistons are got goofy spots on them.
Does it have something to do with these rusty?
Well, they're aluminum.
The aluminum what?
Oh, the rusty freeze plugs? Yeah, that's really the reason why I want to take it out, because I couldn't get the freeze plugs.
Clay's got freeze plugs that are leaking, so he cleaned them up and siliconed them the best he could to get them to quit leaking, but
No, they were still leaking.
they were still leaking. And the only way to really replace them is to pull the motor on a couple of them.
Look at that. I don't know what that is.
So he thought, if I'm...
See that?
Well, didn't you have an extra set of pistons for this?
No, that was for that 6.
You know what? I think that's just some carbon.
That
That looks just like some carbon. That's all it is.
The motor didn't run all that much till I got a hold of it. Yeah, it's got what that is there too. I bet same spot.
Hey, you've almost put twice as many miles on it as what it had when it... You have put twice as many miles on it.
I had 28 when I bought it.
Yeah, you had 28 when you bought it, and you're at 54 now. Good running motor. There was nothing wrong with it other than freeze plugs were leaking. It leaked a little oil,
I mean, it's,
but not much. It didn't drop any oil on the driveway.
it had decent power for what it was.
Yeah, considering it's a non-turbo.
Yeah. The fuel economy was pretty decent.
Fuel economy was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, this motor I never been into before. I don't know. The inside of the valve covers had no sludge or nothing on them. Looked like they're brand new with just a light mist of oil on them.
All right, so this head right here is off of your 6.2. Okay. And Clay's measured the intake and the exhaust valves
Just to see.
compared to this head over here, which is off of a 6.5. This is a bad head. It's cracked real bad. There's a bad crack there.
It's cracked through all.
And then it's cracked in between each valve. The valves are the exact same size. The one significant difference that we can see is, so right here, there's no hole right here in the corner on this 6.2 head. There's a hole here. I don't know if you can see or not, but this water jacket hole. Here, here, and here. They are significantly bigger than the water jacket holes here, here, and here.
And
It's hard to see in the video.
This is the same head from the same side of the motor.
The heads look identical except for the little hole up in the corner, the little oblong hole, and then the size of these water jackets, or these water ports. The valves are the same. The pre-cups look.
They're not cracked.
The pre-cups are, yeah, they're pretty much the same.
No, they're
this area right here. This is what Clay's talking about here. The pre-cups, they usually crack.
Yep.
On the 6.5 that's
Right.
in the
and like in the corner.
dually,
Well,
they're
no,
cracked.
These are shaped. These are slightly different.
Slightly different.
They're
And
upside down.
Explain what the pre-cup is, Clay.
Okay, this is a motor that they call indirect injection, which the glow plug, as you can see right here, is in this pre-chamber, which is what the pre-cup covers, which is diesel goes into the pre-cup, which is able to be warmed up by the glow plug before it comes into the cylinder when you first go get it started up. Which they don't, like a Cummins doesn't have this pre-cup. They also don't have glow plugs.
Okay, they just have a grid heater,
They have a
right?
grid heater.
All right.
But
Yeah,
that's what they mean when they say indirection.
This one's rusty, but you can see here. You see the crack right there. Each one of those is cracked, and then you got that crack right there. This head, Clay bought a 6.5 block, and this head was on it. The guy he bought it from said that he had overheated the motor to the point where he ruined the block. Clay bought it for.
He locked the water pump up, which I figured there was going to be some issues with it, and I didn't figure it was going to be usable. But all I bought it for was the exhaust manifolds and the intake.
Okay.
And I ended up taking there was like a lot of parts that were still usable, like the connecting rods, the oil pan, valve pan, the front cover, all those parts were all still usable, so I sold them. It had it was a 96 model motor, so it had the electric injection pump with the different injection lines on it. So
And what Clay is doing is he's going to take his non-turbo 6.2 that came out of his 1984 M1008 CUCV. That when he bought it, it had 28,000 miles on it. It currently has 54,000 miles on it. He's put a 4-inch lift on it. He's running, Clay says 33-inch tires.
they're 285 75 R16s, which is really close to a 3312.
Okay. And it's going to get this whole set cloned, which is a clone of a what?
Well,
Is it a clone of a 35?
it's supposed to be a clone of a HX35W, but the exhaust housing is not an HX35W. It is the exhaust housing of an HX40, so I believe it's a hybrid turbo. I've never heard of them before until I purchased this one. I was trying to get an HX35W for the 6.5, and I had bought the downpipe conversion for it to go up to the 4-inch Diamond Eye exhaust system I had on it. And it wouldn't work with this turbo, so I just went ahead and bought another turbo that was right turbo. But the exhaust housing is way bigger. You know, the flange is the same size, but the exhaust housing is way bigger than HX35.
So you're going to put some head studs in this 6.2.
Yeah.
Put this turbo on the 6.2. You got another intake to go on it?
Yeah.
Okay, another intake. And Clay also he's throwing away that old rusty stock exhaust and going with is this a 4-inch or 3.5?
Well, it's 4-inch. It's the same kit. I bought the same kit that I bought for the 93, and I'm going to have to cut it up to make it work. Because
Okay.
they don't sell an exhaust kit.
So this is the same kit that you put on the 93 dually?
Same kit, and then I bought the Diamond Eye 2.5-inch crossover pipe
Okay.
to go with it.
Now, did you also get one of them cool tips, like what you got on the dually to go on this?
I haven't bought a tip for it.
You haven't bought a tip for it yet. Okay.
I got a lot of stuff I'm doing to the truck, and I haven't got enough for it.
So I got to admit, the tip is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a black chrome tip.
But I don't want to get a dip that same tip and have the same tip and exhaust on 2 of my trucks. But I mean, it doesn't matter.
And the engine is going to get painted
Chevy orange.
Chevy orange, only without the grease.
Without the grease, yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole truck.
We've had good luck with the Duplicolor engine paint.
Yeah.
That's what we've been putting on our engines here lately. It seems to withstand the heat, and if you get some grease on it, you just spray some engine degreaser on it. It does not. The engine degreaser does not change the color of it.
Well, Purple Power does.
Purple Power will.
Purple Power.
But if you get some seal gunk,
like
spray
foamy,
foamy,
foam stuff doesn't
doesn't change the color.
Purple Power will eat it up.
I think the Purple Power has a little corrosive stuff in it, because if you get it on your hands, it burns your hands a little bit.
Works good.
Yeah, but it's going to be that color. And I think Clay's also going to work on maybe painting the old red truck.
Clean
So,
up the engine compartment.
It's
paint
going to look
black.
pretty good.
Clean up the engine compartment, paint it black. Get rid of the rust. Rusty, nasty spots underneath the battery trays. Gonna move the battery trays to the bed, or build a battery box.
That's right. You said you're going to build a battery box to go into bed.
Get the batteries away from the heat from the turbo and give me more room, because that 6.2 with all its stuff takes up a lot of room in that engine.
And then you're also looking at a vintage air.
Oh no, I've got
Oh no,
air.
you're going to use the air that's in it's your Scout. You're going to put a vintage air into.
I haven't got to my Scout yet. That's a whole different
Okay,
deal.
yeah.
I haven't made it that far.
It's
yet.
still running though.
Still running.
That Cummins is still running good in
Still
it.
running. I'm gonna build a front bumper for it with whatever winch I got laying on the ground over there on a mass pile of parts. That winch back there by the toolbox.
Somewhere back there. Clay has.
It's over
There's
here.
20 gallons of hydraulic fluid for his tractor,
Over here.
which we haven't shown you yet. And
Yeah,
there's
that's another
there's a new steering wheel for the tractor we haven't shown you yet. Where's the winch?
right here.
Right there. Okay, he's got him a 12,000-pound Badlands winch. It's a Harbor Freight winch, but he's got a 9,000-pound version of this winch on his Scout that he's had on there for what, 3 years?
Oh, longer than that.
4 years?
I've had it since before I was in college.
And it's been a good winch. We have used it for a lot of stuff,
Pull lots.
and it's still working well. These are cheaply priced winches at Harbor Freight, but they work well.
Well worth the money.
Yeah, they're well worth the money.
I've used them for more than pulling vehicles out. I've used them for lots of other things. That's actually straighten up.
Oh yeah.